I used to think every scar told a story, a memory etched in skin, proof of survival. But the one on my chest wasn't a memory. It was a warning. I just didn't know it yet. I first noticed it 3 weeks ago. A thin, crescent-shaped mark over my heart, like a pale half-moon pressed into my flesh. I had never been injured there. No surgeries, no accidents. Yet there it was. Cold to the touch. Wrong somehow. I tried to ignore it, but it ached when I slept and pulsed painfully when I ran. A reminder I couldn't forget. Tonight, in the dim neon glow of the orbital port bar, everything changed. I leaned forward on the counter, fingers brushing the rim of my drink, when a woman slid onto the stool beside me. Her cloak shimmered, fabric like liquid shadows, and when she lowered her hood, I felt the room tilt. Her eyes were silver, not gray, silver, like polished alloy. Too reflective, too sharp. She studied me for a moment, then her gaze fell to my chest. Not my face, not the gun holster strapped at my hip, but the exact spot where the scar hid beneath my shirt. My pulse kicked up. "You're bleeding resonance," she murmured. Froze. "Excuse me." She didn't answer. Instead she reached, slowly as though touching something sacred, and tugged the zipper of my jacket down just enough to expose the mark. Her breath caught. "That mark," she whispered, voice trembling. "It can't exist anymore." For a second, nobody else in the bar seemed real. The music faded. The hum of gravity stabilizers drained away. It was just her silver eyes, and that impossible sentence. "What do you mean?" I demanded. She swallowed, voice barely there. "It means you died." My laugh came out far too loud. "Lady, I think I'd remember that." "You shouldn't be here," she continued, staring as though she could see through flesh into whatever was beneath. "Not in this timeline." Timeline. The word sent a cold ripple down my spine. I pushed off the stool. "Okay. You're crazy. Get help." But her hand shot forward, impossibly fast, and gripped my wrist. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. "The wrongness. Like you're walking through borrowed hours." I did feel it. Every morning I woke up disoriented. Like I hadn't slept in my own body. Nights filled with dreams of falling, endless falling through a world of burning blue fractals. A voice whispering numbers. And always that ache in my chest. "Who are you?" "Breathe." "My name is Aya," she said. "And if you don't leave with me now, they will find you." "Who?" Her eyes flicked to the entrance. A tall figure entered, and instantly the air shifted. Everyone went quiet, not consciously but instinctively. A predator had walked into the room. He was in matte black armor, helmet sealed, visor smoked. No insignia. But something about him felt militaristic. Cold. Precise. His attention scanned the bar and stopped on me. Aya cursed under her breath. "Already? What's happening?" "No time." She grabbed my hand and we bolted through the kitchen, knocking over trays and startling cooks. A door slammed behind us, alarms triggered, and I heard boots pounding in pursuit. We burst into a maintenance corridor, lights flickering, and Aya pressed a palm to a security panel. The metal ripple shivered and opened. Not slid. Opened like liquid metal peeling apart. "What are you?" Gasped. She didn't answer, just yanked me inside. The walls sealed behind us. The space hummed, smelling faintly of ozone. My heart hammered in my throat. "Tell me what's going on," I demanded. "You died," she repeated softly. 3 weeks ago. You were erased. From what? A database. From this universe. I stared. She raised her hand and traced a symbol in the air, glowing lines suspended like photons suspended in amber. The shape resembled the scar on my chest. My skin burned in response, the mark flaring with heat. This is a continuum breach signature, she said. Used only when someone crosses timelines illegally. Illegally? You're not the version of you that belongs here. The you from this timeline died. You replaced him. My head spun. You're saying I copied myself? No, she said quietly. You survived your death by falling into another stream of existence and overwriting the version here. It's not cloning. It's displacement. You displaced yourself. That sounds insane. A month ago, I would have agreed. Her expression softened. You weren't meant to know. Nobody remembers when somebody crosses. Except those scarred with resonance. I touched the mark. Felt ice cold. Why me? Her gaze darkened. Because you weren't supposed to survive. And those who control timeline stability, the custodians, will not allow an anomaly to continue. Custodians. The armored man. The feeling of being hunted. Then why help me? Asked. Her voice trembled. Because I crossed once too. The walls shuddered. A thunderous boom rattled the space. Sparks rained from the ceiling. They've locked onto us, she hissed. Hold on to me. What? Light exploded around us. Middle. The truth we're not meant to know. When the glare faded, we stood on a rooftop under a dark sky fractured with hovering transit lanes. Neon rivers of traffic curved through the city like veins full of light. Towers vanished into smog clouds. But this wasn't my world. The air felt different, charged too clean and too sharp at once. The skyline shimmered like a hologram stretched thin over reality. We moved fast. I led, cloak flickering like pixels glitching. I followed, feeling gravity twitch slightly with every step, like the rules of physics were hesitant. Where are we? Asked. A stabilized shard universe, she replied. Neutral ground between streams. That's supposed to make sense. It will, she said. If we survive long enough. She guided me toward a structure that looked like a temple made of glass and memory, edges rippling, interior pulsing with shifting constellations. As we stepped inside, the air tasted metallic. Screens bloomed around us, curving into a dome. Images flickered, countless versions of Earth, branching like roots of an infinite tree. Each one tinted a different shade, like memories stained by time. This is a Weaver node, she said softly. A place that holds possible histories. I stared at the cascading timelines. If I crossed from where? A gesture and one timeline expanded, showing a world like mine but burning. A city in ruins. Drones streaking across the sky. A shock wave rushing forward. I saw myself or another me. Running, chest torn open, collapsing. Then static. That was your death, Aya whispered. The moment you split. Somehow, your consciousness escaped the collapse and latched onto the nearest compatible version of yourself. Here. I stumbled back. But he died too. He was dying the moment you arrived. You didn't kill him. You replaced him. That's not better. No, she agreed softly. It isn't. The scar throbbed. A pulse of heat and cold like some internal compass aligning to a truth I could barely process. I don't remember any of that, I murmured. You weren't meant to, she said. The mind protects itself. But your body remembers the crossing. The resonance scar is proof. I turned toward her. And you. You crossed too. Her eyes dimmed. I fled a universe that was erased entirely. Not destroyed. Deleted. Removed from possibility. I am the only fragment left of its existence. That hurt to hear. You're alone, I whispered. So are you. A silence settled, heavy, raw, strangely intimate. Then alarms shrieked around us. The screens shattered into shards of light. The air thickened like gravity had teeth and was biting down. They tracked the resonance, she gasped. We have to move. A tear ripped open in the air, reality peeling back like a wound. The custodian stepped through. 3 more followed, armor glinting void black, helmets faceless. Anomalous presence detected, a synthetic voice intoned. Violation of temporal integrity. Subject will be reclaimed. Reclaimed. Sounds like murder. Correction, the voice replied, emotionless. Correction of entropy. They raised weapons, not guns but rods humming with dimensional energy. Reality warped around them. I grabbed my shoulders. You have a choice, she said urgently. Let them take you. Your consciousness will dissolve and this timeline will stabilize. Or, you run, like I did. But you'll never stop. You'll always be hunted. I swallowed hard. What happens if I fight? You can't. They are the law of existence itself. A custodian stepped forward. Return to your origin point. I don't have one, shouted. Precisely, it said. The scar burned. Not pain, purpose. A pulse that seemed to echo through the universe. What if I can go back? Asked Aya. Back before I crossed. You would cease. But yes, that would fix everything. Not die. Unbecome. I stared at the glowing staff pointed at me. Then at her silver, grieving eyes. Why help me if this is how it ends? Because existence without choice is not living, she whispered. Then she shoved me. Not away, forward. Into a stream of light. Ending, borrowed time, chosen fate. I crashed onto cold ground, vision spinning. I was back. My original world burning around me. The shock wave roared closer. Flames devoured the skyline. The air tasted like metal and ash. I saw the other me, injured, bleeding on hands and knees. The moment everything diverged, I could let the collapse take us both. Fix the timeline. End the anomaly. Stop the chase forever. But the other me looked up. And I saw fear. Oh, humanity. I remembered Aya's voice. Existence without choice is not living. I grabbed him myself and pulled him through the scar. The explosion hit. Light consumed everything. When the world reformed, I stood in an empty field under a peaceful sky. Grass swayed. Wind carried birdsong. And beside me, breathing alive, stood the other me. No scar on his chest. But one burned bright on mine, now glowing faint gold, not icy silver. He stared at me in shock. Who are you? A second chance, I said softly. For both of us. Aya stood nearby, whole, not fractured. Her cloak fluttered in the gentle breeze. You did the impossible, she whispered. You didn't erase or replace. You synchronized existence. The other me blinked. Oh, I'm not dead. Neither of us are. No, I said. We're proof survival can rewrite fate. In the distance, clouds parted. No custodians. No alarms. No reality tearing open. We're free. Yes. For now, she murmured. Because you chose life, not escape. I exhaled deeply. Then what now? Now, Aya smiled, eyes soft with something like hope. You live in a world that was never meant to survive, and build a future that never existed. I looked at my other self. He extended a hand. Took it. 2 versions. 1 future. No longer stolen life, but shared existence. And as the sun rose, warm and brilliant, I understood. Some scars aren't wounds. They're doorways. And I had finally stepped through mine.